Some games just have that magic, don't they? No matter how much time has passed, they still pull us back in with their depth, their challenge, and just how damn fun they are to play. Today we're diving into 10 games that have truly stood the test of time, still as great today as they were 10, 15 or even 20 years ago. Welcome to LT Gaming, my name is Tom, and today we've got a slightly different style of list for you, something we think you're really going to enjoy. But hey, before we get started, a quick favour from me: if you're into gaming content, whether it's deep dives into strategy classics, hidden gems, or just geeking out about awesome games, consider hitting that subscribe button, and you know, a like doesn't hurt either, it helps a lot more than you think. Now, we've tried to mix up the genres on this list, but let's be real, our choices are always shaped by our own experiences. So this is where you guys come in. Let us know in the comments what are your timeless classics, and maybe we'll make a follow-up feature to this video. Alright, enough talk now, let's get into it. Let's kick things off with a true strategy classic, Civilization V. Released back in 2010 by Firaxis Games, Civ 5 didn't just evolve the series, it redefined it. Switching to a hexagonal grid system and streamlining some of the more clunky mechanics, it gave us a smoother, more engaging take on empire building that still feels fresh today. And what made Civ 5 so timeless? Well, for starters, it's one of the strongest entries in an absolutely legendary franchise. Whether you were aiming for military domination, cultural influence, scientific breakthroughs, the sheer depth of strategy keeps you coming back for more. It's the kind of game where you sit down for just one turn and suddenly it's 4 AM in the morning. But that's not all. Civ 5's modding community deserves a huge shout out for keeping this one alive. From adding historical accuracy to entirely new civilizations, it is alive and thriving even in 2025. It has over 20,000 daily players and a staggering 122,000 overwhelmingly positive reviews on Steam. That's proof of how much love this game still gets. If you haven't tried Civ 5 yet, or it's just been a while since you picked it up, do yourself a favour and jump back in. It's one of those games that will have you hooked from the very first move. Few games have left a legacy as massive as Diablo 2. Released back in 2000, it built upon the success of the original Diablo and took everything to the next level. Better character progression, a richer story, and that dark addictive atmosphere that had players hooked for hours on end. It didn't just dominate its era, it became the blueprint for action RPGs as a whole. So why does Diablo 2 still hold up today? First, the gameplay is timeless. The loot grind, the skill trees, the endless replayability, there's a reason this game is still seen as the gold standard for ARPGs. Even after 20 plus years, its combination of depth and simplicity still feels revolutionary compared to today's games, cluttered with, unfortunately, microtransactions. And then there's the remaster, Diablo 2 Resurrected. Released in 2021, this gave the classic a fresh coat of paint, updated graphics, smoother gameplay, and beautifully re-rendered cutscenes. The best part is it's available on almost every major platform and even supports cross-progression, so you can pick up where you left off no matter where you're playing. Diablo 2 is more than just a game, it's a piece of gaming history. Whether you're a veteran revisiting your glory days or a new player curious about what made this title legendary, it's still an absolute beast and a blast, and a must play for anyone who loves ARPGs. Let's talk about a game now that's practically synonymous with competitive strategy gaming, that's Starcraft 2. Released back in 2010, this sequel to the legendary Starcraft brought the sci-fi epic roaring back to life. Set 4 years after the events of Brood War, Wings of Liberty kicked off a trilogy that later expanded with Hearts of the Swarm and Legacy of the Void. And since 2017, the base game has been free to play, making it very easy to jump in. This one holds up. Well, for starters, it's because it's the ultimate blend of single player storytelling and competitive multiplayer. The campaign is packed with gripping missions, unforgettable characters, and twists that keep you hooked. And then there's the multiplayer. Fast paced, fiercely strategic, and so intense it feels like an Olympic sport. It's the kind of game that makes you sweat, strategize, and rethink every move, even when you're not playing. And the beauty of Starcraft 2 is it instantly feels familiar, even if it's been years since you last touched the original. Its gameplay is accessible but layered with deep depth. Whether you're executing a Zerg rush or holding the line with Terran tanks, the thrill of outmaneuvering your opponent is unmatched. And here's the thing, win or lose, you always want more. Each match is a lesson in strategy, and every mistake a chance to grow. It's a game that challenges you to improve, adapt, and dive back in for just one more match. Over a decade later, Starcraft 2 is still a masterclass in strategy, and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Let's talk about a game that's practically a religion for turn-based strategy fans, Heroes of Might and Magic 3. Released back in 1999, the game didn't just get universal acclaim, it defined an entire genre. With its addictive gameplay, gorgeous 2D art, and epic fantasy campaigns, it quickly became a cult classic. If you want to pick this up, the Complete Edition, which bundles the original game with its expansions, Armageddon's Blade and the Shadow of Death, is the definitive way to experience this masterpiece, particularly with the HD mod. But why does this one still hold up? First, the depth is insane. Heroes 3 took everything we loved about the series and enhanced it. Better maps, more factions, deeper strategy, and a campaign that hooks you from start to finish. And then we have the thriving mod community. Mods like Horn of the Abyss and In the Wake of Gods have added new features, overhauled mechanics, and basically kept the game feeling fresh for over 2 decades. And what really makes Heroes 3 special is the timeless feel. The art, the music, the gameplay, it all just works perfectly in synergy. Whether you're jumping into a skirmish, replaying a campaign, or losing yourself in one of the countless mods, the game is as captivating now as it was back in 1999. If you've never played Heroes of Might and Magic 3, trust me, it's one of those games that every strategy fan should experience at least once, and if you're already a fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now let's talk about a game that's truly royalty in the world of RTS, Age of Empires 2. Released in 1999, this isn't just one of the best real-time strategy games ever, it's a work of art that converted an entire generation to the joy of strategy gaming. With its balanced gameplay, beautiful visuals for the time, and an approach that focused more on strategic thinking than frantic mouse clicks, Age of Empires 2 made strategy gaming accessible, engrossing, and unforgettable. It holds up because, quite simply, it's been lovingly updated for modern players throughout the years. The HD edition dropped in 2013, adding better graphics, new campaigns, and support for higher resolutions. And then came the definitive edition in 2019, and wow, this one is like an ultimate love letter for the fans. With 4K visuals, all the expansions bundled together, and even new civilizations and campaigns like the Last Cans, it's a masterpiece that keeps getting better. But what really makes Age of Empires 2 stand the test of time is how the devs are still supporting it. New content, balanced updates, and a thriving multiplayer scene means it feels as alive today as it did 20 years ago. For fans of Golden Age RTS gaming, this one is a no-brainer. I've lost track of how many versions of Age of Empires 2 I bought over the years, but the definitive edition is hands down the ultimate experience. Whether you're revisiting it or discovering it for the first time, it's never been a better time to dive in. Few games capture the sheer scope of history like Europa Universalis 4. This grand strategy masterpiece lets you control any nation in the world and guide it through 4 pivotal centuries, from the late Middle Ages to the Napoleonic era. Want to rewrite history, forge alliances, wage wars, colonize new worlds, and even change the course of an entire civilization, this game gives you the freedom to do it all. But why does this one hold up? For starters, Europa Universalis 4 is a micro-strategist's dream. This isn't just a game you casually pick up, it's the kind of deep, intricate experience where you want to pause the game every few seconds to weigh your next move or rethink a diplomatic decision. Sure, it's overwhelming at first and you probably won't understand what's happening till you've sunk a couple of 100 hours into it, but that's what makes it so rewarding. The sheer complexity and unpredictability make every playthrough truly unique. And let's not forget the modding scene, it's absolutely thriving. From alternate histories to detailed overhauls, these add endless replayability on top of what you already have. Yes, the DLC policy might be a little ridiculous, but it doesn't change the fact that Europa Universalis 4 is a masterpiece of grand strategy. If you've ever dreamed of painting the map in your nation's colours, sinking hour after hour into careful planning and dramatic outcomes, the game is the ultimate sandbox for history nerds and strategy lovers alike. It's a must play for anyone serious about strategy gaming. If you're a fan of RPGs, this next one needs no introduction. Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition takes a legendary game and brings it to the modern era, making it the perfect way to experience one of the greatest role-playing adventures of all time. Picking up where the first game left off, or letting you create a brand new hero, it's a seamless blend of deep storytelling, tactical combat, and unforgettable characters. With the original Shadows of Am campaign, the Throne of Baal expansion, and even the added Black Pits arena challenges, there's so much to sink your teeth into here. But why does this one still hold up? Let's be real, this game is often called one of the best RPGs ever made, and for very good reason. It builds upon everything the first game did right, but with more polished gameplay, higher level combat, and an unforgettable story. And let's not forget John Irenicus, arguably, in my opinion, the greatest villain in RPG history. His voice, his motives, his presence, you remember him long after the credits roll. Sure, it might feel a bit daunting for modern players, unfamiliar with the old 2nd edition rule set, but trust me, it's worth learning. If you'd rather focus on the incredible narrative, there's a story mode that makes things a lot easier. What makes this game even better is the thriving modding scene, which keeps adding depth, difficulty, and replayability. So whether you're revisiting it or playing it for the first time, Baldur's Gate 2 isn't just a game, it's a journey full of triumph, failure, and moments you're never going to forget, and believe me, the effort you put in is part of what makes it so satisfying. Let's take a trip back to one of the most iconic eras in history with Total War Rome 2, a standout in the Total War series and a must-play for strategy gamers. Set during the classical antiquity period, the game offers a jaw-dropping combination of real-time tactical battles and grand turn-based strategy that lets you build your empire and command armies on an epic scale. When it was launched in 2013, Rome 2 had its fair share of issues, but Creative Assembly didn't let it end there. With the release of the Emperor Edition in 2014, the game was transformed. They fixed technical problems, improved AI, upgraded visuals, and even made it macOS compatible. The result? A polished and an immersive experience that feels just as compelling today as it did then. And of course, let's not forget the incredible modding community. From historical overhauls to gameplay tweaks, the mods add endless variety and depth. My personal favourite, the Colossal Unit Size mod. Imagine tens of thousands of soldiers clashing on the battlefield. It's pure chaos in the best way possible, assuming your PC can handle it, of course. What makes Rome 2 so special is how it pulled you into every aspect of empire building: politics, diplomacy, economics, and of course, epic cinematic battles. Whether you're a veteran of the series or new to the Total War world, this game still delivers a perfect mix of depth and spectacle in 2025. Plunging into the ultimate military sandbox next with Arma III. Released in 2013, this game redefined the boundaries of what a tactical shooter could be. Arma III is all about authenticity, delivering a massive open world combat experience where strategy, teamwork and realism take centre stage. But why does it still hold up a decade later? For one, the attention to detail is unparalleled, from ballistics and vehicle mechanics to advanced medical systems. Arma III set the gold standard for military simulation. It's the kind of game where every decision, whether in planning or execution, matters. But the real magic lies in its community-driven content. Thousands of mods, missions and campaigns have kept this game alive and thriving. Want hardcore mil sim? Check out mods like Ace 3. Prefer something different like zombie survival or casual roleplay? Different servers will have you covered. The creativity is endless and the community is just as dedicated. And let's not forget the massive maps that offer sprawling terrains that are as visually impressive as they are strategically challenging. Whether you're coordinating an airstrike or sneaking through enemy lines, these maps bring about a sense of scale and immersion that few games can match. Arma 3 isn't just a game, it's a platform. If you're into tactical shooters or military sims, it's the ultimate experience. Fair warning though, it's not for the faint of heart. This isn't your typical run and gun shooter, but if you're up for the challenge, this game is more than worth your time. Alright, let's talk about a game that practically redefined open world RPGs, Skyrim. Released all the way back in 2011, it's a game that gave us sprawling mountains, ancient ruins, and of course dragons. Set 200 years after Oblivion, you step into the boots of the Dragonborn. Destined to stop the World Eater, a dragon prophesies to bring about the end of the world. But here's the thing, Skyrim doesn't rush you to save the world. It gave you total freedom to explore at your own pace. Whether it's crafting your character, tackling side quests, or just soaking in the breathtaking beauty of Tamriel's northernmost province. Why does this one still hold up though? Well, Bethesda pulled off something magical here, seamlessly blending music, storytelling, adventure, and an open world design that felt alive and endless. From slaying dragons on mountaintops to getting caught up in political intrigue, every corner of Skyrim had something extraordinary waiting for you. And the mods, oh the mods, they are legendary. From photorealistic graphical overhauls to entirely new quests and characters, the modding community has taken Skyrim and transformed it into a platform for infinite creativity. It's a game that seemingly never stops evolving. Plus the special edition brought all this magic to modern consoles with new quests, environments and so much more. With over 175,000 reviews at 94% positive on Steam and a daily player base that rivals some newer games, Skyrim remains a timeless masterpiece. Whether you're on your first playthrough or your 100th, there's no end to the adventures you can have in this incredible world. And there you have it, 10 timeless games that still hold up more than 10 years later. From sprawling military sandboxes to intricate strategy games and immersive RPGs, these titles have proven that great design and passionate communities can keep a game alive and thriving for decades. But we know this list is just the tip of the iceberg. Gaming history is packed with classics that have stood the test of time. So what are your timeless favourites? Drop them in the comments below and I'll try to make a future video on this. If you've enjoyed the trip down memory lane, don't forget to smash the like button and subscribe for more content just like this. It really helps us out and hey, it costs you nothing.